Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Final hour, kick it off right now on this Wednesday morning. What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it, whether you are tuning in on the radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Streaming us up online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your Alexa devices, your Google devices. Also, the video stream up and rolling here this morning, too. So, I want to get back to some more baseball talk coming up here. Going to get to that here in a little bit. I like this one. I think, you know, for our Mike's Star Market, am I wrong? As John says, am I wrong for thinking that if the Bucks somehow re-sign Giannis and keep him for next year, that he should take the whole summer off and not play any basketball and get healthy for next season? I would 100% agree with that, Jonathan. 100% agree with that. I think that has been a question that has been thrown out there. I think even Doc was asked about it earlier in the season and such. Giannis plays a lot of basketball, like in the offseason, whether it's for Greece and such. And I just wonder at some point, you know, does Giannis take a step back and be like, okay, my age, you know, I put a lot of wear and tear on my body. I'm a very physical player. I mean, you might have to take that step back. Might have to. As much as he probably doesn't want to, might have to. And yeah, I would 100% agree with that. It's just, is the Bucks or any other team going to have the courage to say, hey, Giannis, you got to stop doing this? Maybe. Maybe not. But I would agree with that. I would agree with that. So, for my Hy-Vee game changer, I'm going to the bracket because I think the game changer of the week for a lot of, and this is kind of a general one, but, you know, and it's a little open-ended when it comes to our game changers and such. We can, you know, whether it was a play during a game or a player or a move that, you know, like free agent move or a trade or such, I got to go with that Iowa-Florida game as a game changer because that, I think, just took out a ton of brackets, more so than the Wisconsin one for our bracket challenge. But, you know, you look at Florida, defending champs, one seed, a lot of people on that Florida train to get back to the championship or maybe even win the championship. And for Iowa to knock them down. We knew Iowa had a solid defense, but, you know, and I think, you know, a little part of it too, a game changer, maybe a little bit more positive attention, if you will, on the Big Ten overall for basketball. 6 of the 16 teams from the Big Ten. So, but, yeah, all right. Good stuff. I think that's a good game changer pick for me. I think, yeah, that's where I got to go with. I'm going to go with that one. Game changer, Florida, because it ruined so many brackets. I'm okay with it though because again, I had Nebraska beating Florida, so I was okay with it because I have Nebraska versus Illinois in the Elite Eight, and I'm feeling good about it right now. I'm feeling good, feeling positive. So. But hey, if you got any other ones, please send those on over. All right, text it or hit us up on the Section 105 chat room where we got a couple of our gents chatting it back and forth over there. Zach's going to opening day. I know a couple of you yesterday mentioned that you're going to opening day and such. So a little jealous of that. So, and I hope we are kind of planning to go to one of the Brewers Yankees games coming up here too, coming up soon. So hopefully that still pans out. But I just love going to the ballpark, man. It's a different feeling going to a baseball game compared to a football game. I love Lambeau Field. I still get goosebumps and chills going to Lambeau Field, and I get pumped going into there and such. And I love Lambeau Field. But sometimes I just love the casualness and the relaxation of going to a ballpark, going to a baseball ballpark. Just warm weather, Again, casually, you can walk around a little bit. Not as many people, even if the stadium's full, but it's just, two different types of environments. Even you throw in basketball, it's a completely different environment. Like, as a sports fan, what is your favorite environment to be at going to a game? Is it a baseball game? Is it going to a football game? I would say hockey's even a little bit different. I've never been to like a pro soccer game, but everybody says that environment is just unreal. And then basketball, like which environment, just for you personally, let's kind of do an informal poll question. Maybe I'll make this a post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question later on this evening on the Sports Talk Facebook page. But if you had to pick one that I love attending this type of game in person. We'll go soccer, we'll go baseball, and let's do like the pro or college level, okay? So like pro soccer, like pro baseball or college baseball or what, baseball I think is fairly similar. Football, we're talking like packed houses and such. Hockey, basketball. They're all different. I think you can make the case that they're all different. But which one did you have? Which one would you kind of prefer to be at? I think I might go towards baseball. I really might. As much as I love Lambeau Field and as much as I love going to a Packer game, I might have to go just hanging out at the ballpark, man. There's just something about that. There's just something that just maybe soothes the soul a little bit at times. All right, a little inside the hobby segment that we do on Wednesdays and such. And honestly, it's going back to another kind of another feedback question that I want to throw out to you because I was reading some stuff last night, thinking about what we were going to do for this segment. And obviously there's a ton, there's some stuff about like there's fraud stuff going on, autograph frauds and the autograph market going up. I mean, some of these cards now that are getting signed, there was a Charles Barkley card that he signed and had a logo patch on there. I mean, we're talking about like six figures for a Charles Barkley card. And autograph on there, patch and everything. And I understand, I get it, but it's like, whew. And I remember having this conversation with somebody at one time. And I'm kind of curious now with the explosion of the hobby and the sports memorabilia sector, if you will. Would you prefer, say, getting an autograph from somebody, from an athlete? Maybe it's not in person. You go on an auction and you grab one, or you go on eBay and you grab one. Or, hey, can I get a selfie? Hey, can I get a picture? I've had this conversation a long time ago with I can't remember how it was, but it was like, let's say you have your fan cave, or your man cave, your fan cave, or whatever, okay? And you're decking it out. Are you the kind that I want a bunch of autographed jerseys, I want some autographed photos, even though if I didn't, I wasn't there when they signed it, I picked it up, it's certified, it's real, blah, blah, blah. Would you rather be like, I just want pictures with me and the athlete, like I got to meet them. I don't care if it's autographed. It's not worth anything, but it's like that's a photo of me, And I get it. Like, and I'll admit, I've got a couple autographs in my fan cave or my man cave. But I'm kind of like, I kind of like the picture side. Like, hey, I got a selfie with so-and-so, and I don't really. Where are you at? So I'm kind of throwing this question out to you. If you are a sports fan, would you prefer an autograph from your favorite athlete? Or, again, if they're around, obviously they'd have to be around for you to get a picture with them. And do you prefer, like, I just want a selfie, then I'm going to print that off and frame it up and put it in my house, put it next to my bed? Living room portrait, take down the family portrait. It's that selfie with Christian Yelich. I was trying to think of somebody. Christian Yelich or something. I don't know. Brett Favre. Where are you at on that one? All right, let's talk some more baseball, though, shall we? We'll take a quick break. And question I threw out in the first hour. How do you view Christian Yelich right now? Do you view him still as a star player? Do you view him as just a good player or a very good player, average player? And Jackson Chourio, who's entering his third season. Is this a pivotal year? Is this a year where you want to see him take a big step and then he becomes that star player that everybody's kind of been talking about for the last couple of years? Does this have to be the year he takes that jump? Your thoughts. I want to hear them. We'll take a quick break. Back with plenty more coming up after these quick words. Tax season is here, and what are you going to do with that refund this year? What are you going to do with that extra spending money that you're getting from your tax refund? Why not maybe finally update the flooring in your home or in your space, your man cave, whatever it may be, maybe your work office or such. Maybe you got a home office. Whatever the case may be, it is time to update that flooring, because I know some of you listening right now are like, yeah, could probably get some new carpet in that room, or maybe we got to switch over to some luxury vinyl planks like some Rigid Max flooring. Hey, Carpet City Flooring Center is the place to go, and they can help you out. If you're not sure what would look the best or work the best in your particular space, no worries. They got you covered. They will help you from start to finish. So check them out today. Carpet City Flooring Center, right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin's premier flooring store. John said, I heard a story that Craig Maddox said he didn't sign many autographs, but when he did, he would sign his name for the kids, and for the adults, he would sign Jeffrey Dahmer because he didn't want the adults to resell his autograph. I will say that's like one of the things that kind of just like bugs me. And I see this when I go to training camp for the Packers, and they're riding their bikes, and the amount of adults rushing these players for autographs. And you know what they're doing. You know, they're carrying all, like I've seen people with bags of like mini helmets and like footballs or such. You know what they're doing. They're getting those and they're going to put them up on eBay and sell them. It should be for the kids. All right. Let the kids go in there and do that for cry eye. And it was just like, I remember this was a couple years ago, just watching it, and my kid's already shy enough he wasn't going to do it or anything, but just watching the animals, like those adults were acting. And then I was at a game, a preseason game. It was Hudson's first ever Packer game, and I wanted to get like tickets closer to the tunnel so he could see the players a little bit better. Holy moly, the amount of people that are just hovering, adults hovering around a tunnel, not even close to where they're sitting, trying to get an autograph too. It's like, come on. It's all about the kids for that stuff, for cry eye. Because, yeah, you know exactly. And it's like that for not just autographs, but giveaways. You go to a baseball game, the giveaway, it's immediately put up on eBay. I remember I was at the Euchre game last year where they honored Euchre. And everybody in attendance got a pin, okay? And I've got mine up in my man cave. Hudson's got his in his room. And just curiosity, go on eBay, coming back from the game, people are already posting it for hundreds of dollars. It's like, geez. I mean, I guess if you're not going to use it or display it or have it, go for it and such. But, man. So, anyways, back to some baseball here. Brew Crew. All right, yesterday, wrapping up their spring training with a 4-1 win against the Cincinnati Reds. We also got to see a final tune-up with a couple of young pitchers that Brewers are going to be counting on to be big-time performers this year. And that's Sproat and Harrison. So Sproat picked up the win. 4 innings, though, 2 hits, 5 Ks, no earned runs, couple walks. Harrison, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run on a homer, 5 Ks. So both Sproat and Harrison, a little over 4 innings, 5 Ks apiece. Look sharp. And hopefully that kind of transitions into the regular season here. Now, I don't want to set the bar too high. I know there's excitement about Sproat. There's excitement about Harrison. But they're also young. Got a little bit of experience at the majors. I don't want to set the bar up too high to where it's going to be like, we set that bar so high that you're a little disappointed in their performance. They're going to be up and down this year, right? I mean, they're still younger guys. They're still young pitchers. They're going to be a little bit up and down. It's going to happen. You just hope that there's going to be more ups than downs for these youngsters. But I'm definitely excited to see them in action this year. Bowers with another home run yesterday. I mean, this guy is just raking right now. Absolutely it's to the point where you're like, maybe he's your opening day starter, first baseman or such. You look at the lineup card yesterday, and I don't know if this is going to be the case where they try it, but again, it was the same first four as it was the day prior. Cheerio at leadoff, Terang second, Contreras third, Yelich fourth. Vaughn was in at first base. He was batting fifth. Behind him, Bowers was playing left field. And then it was Frelick, Hamilton at third, Ortiz at short. But the way Bowers is swinging the bat right now in spring training, I almost wonder maybe he gets some play in left field this year. Early goings, because, hey, we got to strike while it's hot with that bat, because right now, that bat is smoking hot for Jake Bowers. You may suffer a little bit on the defensive side by having him in left, Cheerios in center, then Frelick in right, as opposed to Cheerio in left, Mitchell in center, and Frelick in right. But, you might have to keep that bat in that lineup, and if that's going to be with him playing left field, that might be the option here. But sizzling hot. 30 his spring training numbers, his final numbers, 39 at-bats, 18 hits, 7 home runs, 462 average, on base of a 571, an OPS of a 1.725. No, those are not sustainable numbers this year. Jake Bowers, I don't think it's a hot take, is not going to have those type of numbers for the whole season. But I think in baseball, in this sport, if you got a hot hand, you play that hot hand. You go with the hot bat. Right now, Jake Bowers has a dang hot bat. And that might mean that, hey, he's playing left field. And Cheerio's going to play center. Garrett Mitchell has not had a great spring in terms of offense. So we'll see. But they might have to find ways to keep his bat in the lineup in the early goings of this season. And if he continues to produce, all right, more ways to keep him in, or more, you got to figure out more ways to keep him in that lineup. And that's going to be one of the interesting things here, too, because we know the Brewers always say, hey, we prioritize defense. We won't sacrifice offense for defense. But you know what? You still need to score runs. Right? You still need to go out there and score runs. And if Bowers is going to be that bat right now that is kind of leading the charge, might be the way to go about it. And speaking of bats and such, going back to Yelich and Jackson Cheerio. How do you view Christian Yelich? Is he still a star in your eyes? Is he still the leader of this team? He may be the emotional leader. Is he the face of the franchise? Is he that all-star player? I mean, he was in the All-Star game a couple of years ago. But would you define him as a star right now? I think I've got him, if we kind of use the grading scale of star and good, it's between. Star would have been like his 18-19 seasons for the Brewers. 18 MVP, 19 had a really good chance at winning MVP again until he got hurt. So I don't know if I'd say star, but I think he is between star and good. So maybe the difference is very good. The Hall of very good. And I don't want to diminish what he did last year because you look at Christian Yelich's numbers last year. 29 home runs, 103 RBIs. Yes, it was just a 264 average, but his 103 RBIs was the first time he eclipsed he hit 100 RBIs or more since 2018. 2019, he probably would have. He had 97 before he got hurt. So he probably would have. But first time he hit over 25 home runs since 2019. So, I mean, he was the run producer for this team last year. In 2024, he was off to that hot start where he was an all-star. Hitting .315. 11 home runs. And then after the all-star break, the back issues. So, and you look at his OPS last year was down compared to the last 2 years. Last year's OPS was a 795. Year before that, 909. Year before that, 818. He is a career 839. You'd probably like to see that number go up a little bit more. But Christian Yelich, I think, to me, is still a pivotal player in this for this ball club, for the overall success of this ball club. I think he is a guy that if he's going to be your cleanup hitter or that part in the lineup and asked to be that run producer, he is by default almost just a critical, pivotal part of the roster. And there's going to be a lot on his shoulders. But I don't think I would consider him a star. Like when I see stars or when I say stars in Major League Baseball, I'm looking at like obviously the Ohtanis, the Judges, the Bobby Wood Juniors, Sotos, those type of players. And I can't put Yelich in that category anymore. But definitely still a big part of this team. And hopefully, we can look back at these last 2 years. All right, bring the power, maybe get the OPS back up a little bit more too. Jackson Chourio now entering his third year. Kind of the question I've been thrown out all morning is, when do you stop saying he's still young? We kind of threw that out there last year for this Packers team, right? Youngest roster in the league. At what point do you stop saying they're young and using it almost as, let's face it, kind of an excuse? Okay, for Jackson Chourio, and I'm not saying Jackson Chourio has been bad by any means. It's just, I think, the prospects and the potential of him is so incredibly high that everybody just assumes he is going to be the next star in Major League Baseball. Like, he is going to be amazing. I mean, Brewers obviously think that too by giving him that contract before he even played an inning at the Major League level. There is this assumption that he is going to be a major star. And he has not gotten to that point yet. He's been good. He's been really good. But he hasn't gotten to that point. Does it have to happen this year as his third year? He's still young, age-wise. But from a baseball-wise, I mean, he's entering his third Major League Baseball season. He's coming off World Baseball Classic, where he's starting center fielder for the champs. Is like an expectation for Chourio this year? Okay, he's got to be an all-star this year. Is that the expectation fans have for him? Or are they kind of like, no? Because I do wonder, let's say Chourio doesn't make an all-star game this year. And he's healthy. But he still hits around 270, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. Do fans then kind of say, all right, why isn't he doing more? Why isn't he putting up these amazing numbers, like all-star worthy numbers? Does that happen after this year if he puts up those type of numbers? So to me, it's going to be really kind of fascinating and curious to watch Jackson Chourio this season. And honestly, last year, if he's healthy, yeah, his numbers probably a little bit better. But this is where I'll give Jackson Cheerio a lot of credit, too. I mean, even though he was banged up, he played. He busted his butt to go out there and play, too, with some of those hamstring injuries for the youngster. So, as a fan, I think we all appreciate that. To go out there and see a guy that, all right, he's banged up in baseball, I mean, for crying out loud, is a long season. To still go out there and try to give it your all, I think, as a fan, you love that. And I think the team feeds off that, too. But I think it's also fair to say, entering his third year for Jackson Cheerio, to say, you know what? Let's see another step. I mean, we did it with Jordan Love for starting this past year. We want to see a little bit more of a step. We want to see another step. And I think it's fair to say that for Jackson Cheerio. Okay, what's the next step in his development? What's the next step in his play? All right, let's take a quick break. Get back to some of your texts and such. We'll be right back after these few words. When it comes to fresh, convenient, and delicious, Hy-Vee and Eau Claire, hey, they've got you covered. Maybe especially if you got some kiddos who are going to be on spring break next week in the Eau Claire area, you got to load up the food pantries and extra meals and such. Load up over at Hy-Vee and Eau Claire, from fresh produce and premium meats to bakery favorites and ready-to-go meals. Everything you need is under one roof. Planning some dinner tonight, or maybe grabbing lunch on the run, stocking up for the week? Hey, they make it simple. A store that feels like your neighborhood market, just a bit bigger. Plus, with daily and weekly deals and seasonal specials, there is always something new to discover. Hy-Vee and Eau Claire, where there is a helpful smile in every aisle. I did put up last night, just kind of curious, since we're talking about some potential power hitters, and that I put up, do you think the Brewers this year will have a player that hits over 30 home runs? Put it up as part of our Post-Glass and Mirror, Post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question. And let me bring it up here really quick. Was it Sports Talk over here? It was. Yes, 70% of you said that, yes, he would. Or somebody, Brewers player, would hit over 30 home runs. So, yeah, I think I'd probably vote with you in there. And Mark says it's funny that not long ago we were worried about getting a bat at first base for the Crew, and now we look to be in pretty good shape. Not too far after eating all those concerns. So let's go. And again, Bowers probably isn't going to be hitting those type of levels, right? He's probably not going to be hitting at that, 400 something that. But man, be something if him and Vaughn could piggyback what they were doing all spring training. Would answer a lot of questions, wouldn't it? It'd answer a lot of questions. So, really quick reminder. You've got the Bucks back in action tonight. If you're still following along with the Bucks here, 9 p.m. So it'll be a little shortly after 9, taking on the Portland Trailblazers. But yesterday, the Players Association for the NBA coming out with a statement. Surrounding the Bucks and the report that they want to shut down Giannis for the rest of the year. Players Association saying, quote, "The player participation policy was designed by the league to hold teams accountable and ensure that when an all-star like Giannis is healthy and ready to play, he is on the court. Unfortunately, anti-taking policies are only as effective as their enforcement. Fans, broadcast partners, and the integrity of the game itself will continue to suffer as long as ownership goes unchecked. We look forward to collaborating with the NBA on meaningful new proposals that will directly address and discourage tanking." And then on the same breath now, too, is the Players Association wants to change the 65-game rule, which the NBA implemented for players. You have to play 65 games to get an award, to be eligible for an award. for regular season awards. And a lot of this is becoming because of Cade Cunningham. His eligibility for individual awards, such as like the All-NBA team, because of the 65-game rule for such awards in the Players Association said Tuesday, that shouldn't be the case. Their statement said Cade Cunningham's potential ineligibility for postseason awards after a career-defining season is a clear indictment of the 65-game rule and yet another example of why it must be abolished or reformed to create an exception for significant injuries. Since its implementation, far too many deserving players have been unfairly disqualified from end-of-the-season honors by this arbitrary and overly rigid quota. So then it brings into the question, okay, where's the happy medium? And is there one? How do you curb tanking? How do you curb or get rid of load management days for players? Now, yeah, Cade Cunningham has a severe injury. He is recovering from a collapsed lung. He has appeared in 61 games. He's probably not going to hit the 65-game mark. That is a severe injury. Okay, you change it to severe injury. What's going to stop teams from, hey, we feel like this is a severe injury? That's their opinion. You know, it opens up that can. So you can sit there and say, well, it's got to be major injuries and such. Okay, but then you're going to have the team. It's going to happen. That's going to say, and the team doctors and the trainers are going to be like, they're going to deem that a severe injury. I don't know how you kind of fix this. A lot of it just has to come from, I think, the players. It's a mindset that I don't know if you can go back. I don't know. Do you change? Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr the other couple weeks ago said to eliminate some games, and this is a guy who played in an 82-game season as a player, and now he's a coach and saying, "Yeah, we got to get rid of games." I don't think that's the answer. Is it straight up travel? Do they need more space in between games? Do they got to expand the season to make it longer? Do they got to start it earlier so they have more rest days in between? I don't off the top of my head, I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you curb the trend of load management. I don't know how you do that off the top of my head. And this is something the NBA's got to figure out and they got to fix. It's both. There's two things they got to fix here. They got to fix the tanking. That's a team thing. And they got to fix the load management player stuff. And that's got to come, some of it's got to come from the player. I mean, I think there's still players out there that want to play every single day. They want to play every game. And, I'll reference this. You go back to the Last Dance documentary with Jordan. Jordan talks about, was it his rookie year, second year, in the playoffs, and they had him on a minutes restriction or at the end of the regular season. And, wasn't allowed to play after coming back from a foot injury, wasn't allowed to play over 20 minutes, and they were still trying to fight to make the postseason, and the team didn't want him in there because it was just going to be an 8 seed. And Jordan's mindset, which to no surprise of everybody's like, no, I'm playing. If we got a shot to go to the playoffs, and that means we got a shot to compete for a championship. I think there's still players with that mindset. I really do. I believe that. But I don't know if you can go back to like the glory days, right? The glory days of players always playing 81, 80, 82 games. Or all the players having the mindset of a Jordan like, hey, so-and-so busted their butt at their job to buy a ticket to come watch me play basketball, maybe with their child. I have a responsibility to be on that court. I think, honestly, that mindset is kind of not. I think some players may still have that, but maybe not as prevalent as it might have been back then. Just my thoughts. All right, we got to take our final break. We'll finish it up with some picks and wrap up this Wednesday program coming up in just a couple minutes. All right, let's wrap up this Wednesday morning. We've got some picks to get to here. So let's start it off. We'll save the opening night game between Yankees and Giants for our final one tonight. But let's open it up with let's do some NHL games. We only got a couple games here. Boston taking on Buffalo. I'll go with Buffalo for that one. We got the Rangers taking on Toronto. I am going to go with the Rangers for that one. NBA schedule-wise, we got Atlanta taking on Detroit. I'm going to go. I might go Atlanta in this one, actually. I'll go a little upset. We got Lakers taking on the Pacers. I'm going to go Lakers. Chicago, Philadelphia. Give me Philly. OKC, Boston. That's a good one. I'm going to go Boston. Miami, Cleveland. Give me Cleveland. San Antonio, Memphis, the Spurs, Washington, and Utah. I will go with the Jazz. Yeah, I'll go Jazz. Houston, Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota. Dallas, Denver. Give me Denver. Brooklyn, Golden State. Toronto, LA. I'm going to go Toronto. Milwaukee at Portland. Portland's 12.5-point favorites, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to go Portland. And then opening nights, Major League Baseball, Yankees, Giants. If you have Netflix, that's where the game's on. Max Fried versus Logan Webb. It's in San Francisco. I'm going to go Giants to pick up the win. Why not? Let's roll with the Giants here. So, all right. Coming up tomorrow is a Takeover Thursday. Don't forget to come up with your topics for discussion for tomorrow. You get to act like the producer. All right. So think about your topics. Think about what you want to talk about and throw them on over. Best ones, I'll read up on the air. All right. So we'll do that. Hopefully get some good ones tomorrow. It is also a Thursday, so we'll chat with Jake Boak. So if you have any questions for our DNR Warden buddy, please send those on over via the texting line so we can get those on over to Jake. I don't give him your number or anything like that. So if that's what you're thinking, no. It's just the easiest way. They pop up for me. That's where I get all the messages. So anybody who tries to send stuff on Facebook and that, I'm not getting it in time. So texting line or going to YouTube for the video chat. If you're commenting on Facebook or sending Facebook messages, I'm not getting it because I don't have it up. So there, got to go in a texting line, or you got to go on the YouTube stream, or you got to give us a shout on the phone line. So, but also coming up on Thursday here, excuse me, we've got our Enough is Enough. I was blanking there a little bit. Enough is Enough Thursday, brought to you by ASAP Used Auto Parts in Eau Claire. So think about that. That's your homework assignment. And think about your Brewers predictions with opening day tomorrow. I want season predictions. I want team MVP. I want, if you think the Brewers go to the postseason, I want your postseason teams. I want your World Series matchups and who wins the World Series. I want all that. Okay, I want all of it. So think about it tonight and come prepared to class tomorrow. All right? Come prepared tomorrow. And, the game will be up on the radio tomorrow. So first pitch is around 1:10. And reminder, as always, for every game, you can only listen to it on the radio dials. Okay? Passing along 105.1 FM and 790 AM. So big thanks for everybody tuning in, participating in the program. Good stuff, as always. Always enjoy our back and forth and your inputs and such. Good to see the Section 105 chat between Digital and Zach and such rocking and rolling. We need more peeps in our Section 105, so don't be afraid to head on over to the YouTube chats. Make sure, if you're not, subscribing to the YouTube channel. I did post up our first video of Game On. I'm in the cage. I'm taking BP from Dale Var's show, Eau Claire Express manager. So if you want to check that out, it is on the YouTube page. All right? It's on the YouTube page, so go check it out. We've got more coming. So I'm going to do some hockey. I'm going to do some other stuff on there too. Maybe stuff I have never tried before, or it's been a long time and now I'm just old, so it's going to look rather awkward or maybe even painful in a lot of instances. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off. Enjoy the rest of your day. And then we get opening day tomorrow. Get ready for a lot of baseball movie clips, baseball-themed stuff tomorrow because it's one of the best times of the year. Even though it's a long season and 162 games, I feel like opening day is just, it's a different feel. It's a different nostalgia feel. So, looking forward to it.